First, we use the Triad True Tray custom tray material. It comes in a little black bag like this. It's a clear sheet and in the shape of a tray inside of here, and you take it and you cut it up into pieces. The other material we're going to use is the Triad Gel Clear Colorless from Dentsply. Those are the only two things you need besides some other basics that I'm sure you have in your operatory already. So I have a lovely patient here today who happens to be my daughter, and she has told me she's willing to go along with this. Is this correct? She'll actually listen to me without fighting me, probably longer than ever in history. So, lovely Linda here is handing me some of this material that she's already rolled into a worm. All right, so this worm, got a peri-probe? This worm is about that long, and it's about 5 to 6 millimeters wide. So we would say AAP type 3 if it were a perio pocket. Maybe that'll help you remember. And it's not very big. So here's what we do. Live, head back, chin perfect. Okay, first thing we do is Linda knows at this point to jump right in there with her gauze. She dries this up real nice. Now this is very dependent upon the temperature and the humidity. It's raining today and a little bit cool, so it's actually not bad. This thing will really sag when it's really soft, so if you notice, you kind of work as if you're fishing, it really is a worm. So you're gonna let that little worm go down there. I take my finger and I press it right to the midpoint of the upper first molar. And I'm feeling right now, and my finger is not sticking to it. It's a good day. As we go around, we just push it into place like this. It's not sticky at all. Notice Linda is well experienced here, and she knows that like right there when it starts to stick, I'm gonna grab a little bit of Vaseline and I'm gonna go like that, not too much. And you're not gonna worry about the end of it. Why? Because Linda's gonna give me a Explorer. This is all it is. See the padding? If it's sticking to the material, you wanna put more Vaseline on. And remember, you're gonna just get rid of the excess over there, no big deal. Very easy to trim and work with later. What am I thinking about? On the lingual, I want it below the lingual cusp. In the posterior, I want it below the lingual cusp against the palate. It's good to make it thin, thinner than you might think. You don't need a big roll there. I find they're plenty strong. Notice the other thing I'm doing, rubbing my finger on the cheek in order to get it a little bit wet. The other thing is you want no anterior contact. Lower anteriors, you want them away from here. So shove this down, because if you are going to do some closing down of the bite, you don't want these lower front teeth to hit here at all. So those are the things I'm thinking about. In the meantime, Linda, what are you thinking about?
I am thinking about hitting it with the light temporarily, just to set it a little bit, and then Dr. Bashar will take an instrument.
Notice how she said a little bit of setting, because she's been here when Dr. Bashar has complete panic attacks because he's afraid it's going to lock in. Okay, so that's not enough. So here we are, we're just playing this little game of getting it sort of to cure. And don't worry, it does come out. I've never had one lock in for real. But what I'm trying to do is get it just to loosen up. Okay, I just got half of it or a third of it to loosen up, and then I push it right back. Let's see how we're doing over here. Do not rip it out. That's it. It just moves a little, and don't worry, you didn't break it up here. It looks like it broke. Go ahead. You probably can't see on the video, but it looks like once you get those two loose like that, you're probably just fine. Now, as far as the curing, you do not need a Triad. Notice this is an old Demetron light that we had around. We really like it. Take your lights, take all that stuff out of the closet, see which one works best. This one has different tips. The big wide tip versus the new ones, I like it better, and we use it. It's still, Linda, it's still not
here.
Right in the front here. It's not coming off in one piece, but I'm going to take it off all the way. Let's see. No, we're okay. We're almost there. I'm going to have her hit it one more. Okay, so that's the horseshoe. It's amazing how strong this thing can be when it's that little bit. One of the other things I didn't mention is comfort. I want this thing to feel like nothing in somebody's mouth. We do a lot of evil things to people, and if I can make it a little bit more comfortable, then that's going to exceed my patient's expectations, and that's going to hopefully make me a richer man, right? Right, Olivia? Having a kid's expensive, right? All right, so there we have it out like that. There's her shoe. I really like it. You want to take a swallow? All right, good. All right, we put this back in. All right, step 2 is going to be the platform. So we're going to take this material with a plastic instrument or something like that, whatever you want to use as your spoon. I'm going to just take a glop of this like that. Going to take that little bead and we're going to just lay it right up here. On some cases, you're going to want to have checked really carefully where that's going to hit. Hit that. Notice I just hold it in place like that. She zaps it. It sets. I've done enough of these on a class 1 bite like Olivia's. She's post-ortho, so she's pretty easy. Close down for me. Okay, and there we've got it. We've got one contact on one lower incisor right here. All right, so Linda and I are going to do a check. How are you over there?
I think we could bring her down a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. So we've got maybe a little more, maybe we're at about 2 millimeters all the way in the back there. We're going to want to get from 1 to 1.5 millimeters in between. I hope that's the right answer to that test question. All right, so put the blue there. Open. Tap, tap, tap. Good. All right, but I like where it is, so I'm going to do very little. Okay, I'm going to take that out of there. I see the mark. I'm actually just using a diamond burr that happened to be sitting here when we started this. So I'm just going to flatten this out, and we want to make that nice and flat, front to back, in case she's constricted, so we can get her to slide into the comfortable position, into her CR. And we don't want it too wide. This doesn't end up too wide. You don't end up with a big old platform. I almost never have that much grinding to do. Okay, bite down for me. Bite. Okay, so we're going to keep on measuring in the back, open and close, open and close. Then we're going to pop it out. And then, of course, we are going to trim it a little bit. And just like Julia Childs, I have not only one, but I have a finished one here. And this is the finished one. You'll notice I just put a little scallops in it. It's my feeling that, again, if it's going to be inexpensive and it's going to be simple, I don't want to do a lot. Yes, I could polish this up, and I'm sure some of my colleagues will do an absolutely beautiful job of bringing this to all kinds of wheels and stuff. And we do have many composite instruments that you're welcome to use on it. I have found that you don't really have to. I've made them for myself, and they're really just fine like this. The only issue is that this stuff does tend to have a very plastic taste to it. So very often I'll give it to Linda, and she'll put it in some of the mouthwash we have around. You dip it in there, and then in case it tastes kind of minty, so patients tend to like that. Home care, what are you telling people, Linda?
Do not soak it in any Listerine green. It will turn green. Just brush your teeth, take it out in the morning, brush it gently as possible, or just rinse with warm water. And that's all you need to do.
I also do explain to patients in order that they don't have their expectations too high, is that this is a high-risk appliance. What does that mean? It's made in the office, it's not the strongest, and I'm making it smaller than I want to because I want it to be more comfortable. What that means is there's a higher risk of breakage. We almost never break them, but I usually just say something like this: if it breaks off, very often the larger piece will include the deprogrammer, and it works just fine. So I tell them if it breaks off, you see how quick it is, I could simply make another one. You know what, if you're at the beach and it breaks off, you could still wear it because it's still gonna work, and if your appointment is coming soon, you don't have to come in. So that's
as long as their teeth aren't touching. If their teeth touch and it's broken, they must come in to get it fixed.
There you go, very good,
So you
doctor.
do not want their teeth to touch.
She always remembers what to say. All right, anything else we forgot?
Nope.
All right, I hope it's helped somebody.